Welcome back viewers, EDDBUD here, and I've got the third instalment of my half marathon training update. So Friday saw a bit of a rest day for me, although a rest day wasn't really that. I was relatively active on a trip to London via the train, lots of tubing around and also lots of walking about to get all the stuff done that I had to do. Didn't get a chance to go over to Nike Town, which I was a little bit sad about, just ran out of time. I was mainly up in London to update a couple of hi-fi components. I'm big into vinyl, listen to a lot of vinyl, collected a lot of CDs over the years, so been updating my hi-fi system. Maybe I'll give you a rundown on that sometime. But back to running. On Saturday, in the plan, I had down 4 miles at a steady pace, around about 8 minutes per mile. Weather was really good early doors and very reasonable temperature out there, not too much humidity. So I headed out in the New Balance Beacons and managed to get a little bit under that 8 minutes per mile. I think I was around about 7 minutes 45, something along those lines. Really standout shoe, this one for me. I know a few of you have commented saying, where did I get this for such a great price? But I think it was I don't know, maybe a clearance deal, something like that. It certainly isn't a typical price for these. But really impressed. Not just for easy miles either, they can go at a higher pace, so do check out the Beacon 1 if you can find one. Kind of found it a little bit hard to rein in actually to that 8 minute pace. These shoes are just so light and they're really responsive as well. That fresh foam stuff is really great. I do recommend you go and check it out. In terms of wear, we're getting a little bit of wear actually around this forefoot area. Hardly anything back here, but certainly around the forefoot area here. There's a little bit of tearing here. Not too worried about that. It seems mainly concentrated around these kind of rubber segments here. But an insanely comfortable shoe. I've had no issues here around the heel area. I know that there are some changes to the Beacon 2 in terms of the heel, but I'm certainly impressed with this version 1, especially for the price that I paid for it. So it was nice to have some easy, steady miles to do rather than some of the higher pace speed workouts and repetitions I did earlier in the week. Didn't need to put too much effort in, and that was kind of good really. The legs were still pretty tired from wandering around on the Friday around London. Certainly this toe box area I wouldn't say is large or voluminous, but it's certainly very accommodating, very comfortable. The actual knit is just so light and soft. So thumbs up for this one. I think interestingly as well, in terms of value for this shoe, I know recently Seth James Damore has reviewed the Beacon 1 kind of against the Beacon 2 really, and he says that this one comes out on top in terms of value. He's a really great and very knowledgeable runner. He's been running for a very long time, so when that man talks we listen, and certainly that seems to be the case with that Beacon 2. They've changed some stuff. I think they've maybe made the toe box area a little bit larger. There seems to be a little bit more volume there, but for me the Beacon 1 absolutely perfect. So if you can find one, do purchase it. I can certainly see me getting lots and lots more miles out of the Beacon 1. That shoe's going to go on and on for many miles. I can get at least 300, maybe 400 miles out of that shoe if I utilize it for those easy runs. But that aside, I would like to try and use the shoe over a greater distance if possible at some point. Please chime in the comments down below if you've utilised the Beacons for that type of purpose. I'd really like to hear your views and opinions on that and your experiences. So Sunday, on tired legs, I had the hardest session of the week to go. I think it was about an 8 or 9 out of 10 in terms of effort. It was said to be a time trial over the 10k distance with about a mile warm up and mile warm down. So going into that session, I decided to be realistic with myself. I knew that on the tired legs and in terms of how my body felt, I knew that I wasn't going to get anywhere near the 6 minutes 45 seconds per mile pace that the session demanded. So I kind of adjusted things a little bit, which I think is reasonable in terms of the workload that I had on the day before. Really 3 hours on my feet the evening before wasn't the most ideal preparation for a run like that. So a little bit of adjustment was necessary. So I aimed for a sub 45 minute 10k, knowing that that was a realistic goal that would still challenge me, but it would certainly give me a sense of achievement if I managed to get there. So I used the Zoom Fly 3s on this training session in an attempt really to further evaluate it in terms of it being a sort of racing and speed shoe. I'm certainly enjoying the fit on this shoe. The feeling's really great. That Vaporweave stuff is really fantastic and very light. But as I have mentioned before with this shoe, it is a heavier shoe. You can feel the density and the weight of the React underfoot. And certainly as somebody who's experienced in wearing the Zoom Fly and the Zoom Fly Flyknit, this one is just getting that little bit heavier. It doesn't have that kind of magic feeling I put on when I first tried the Zoom Flies. I've noticed as well, to truly get that propulsive feeling with this shoe, you need to get the lockdown just right. If it's even very slightly loose, you completely lose that feeling of propulsion. You need to have it gripping around this area of your foot, and you need some good heel lock. A lot of people have complained about the lack of heel counter. There isn't one here. There seriously isn't one. So you need to get that heel lock and the forefoot adjustment perfect, or you're not going to get that propulsive feeling. So managed to hit just over 45 minutes on the 10k training session. Wouldn't say I'm disappointed really. 45 minutes, I was quite happy in terms of how my body felt. There's no point pushing myself beyond that, doing some damage. Didn't want to do that, so wanted to be realistic and achieve something to give me a sense of completion for the week. So managed around about 7 minutes 12 seconds per mile. I think that equates to about 4 minutes 20 per kilometre, so quite happy with that on tired legs late in the evening. Cadence was nice and high, around about 177 steps per minute, so really pleased with that. That kind of focus I've had recently in terms of improving that cadence and my turnover seems to be working. Evening was definitely the right choice for that run. It was very, very warm during the day and humid. Temperatures dropped off a little bit later on that evening, so perfect sort of time for the run. Gave me the best possible chance to get something good out of the session. So as a time trial, sort of outside of a normal race situation for 10k, relatively happy with the time. So it looks like this training plan and scheme is definitely going to push me and send me outside the boundaries of what I've been able to achieve before, which is entirely the purpose of it. So pretty happy overall with week 1 and the progress I've made. On to week 2 now, where the mileage creeps up a little bit and the targets get a little bit higher. It shifts them up a peg or two, so we'll see if I'm up to the challenge. Please do comment below and tell me about your progress, about your training and any races that you are currently gearing up for. As usual, please hit that subscribe button and click the bell for notifications so you're informed of when new videos are launched. Hit that like button. My name's EDDBUD and I'll be seeing you.